Hey guys, and welcome back to another Conan Exiles video. Today we are on the Exiled Lands in Map Square I-4 near Narrowneck Span, building a trader's outpost. As usual, all the mods are in the pinned comment below, so without further ado, let's get started. Firstly, we are starting off with, of course, the baseplate. I've got a blueprint for you and it's fairly simple. If you're building a trader's outpost of your own, it doesn't necessarily need to be this shape if you'd like to include more stores or vendors. This is just the shape I went with. I chose to use a fusion of stable wood, stone brick and insulated wood with a frontier accent for a nice rustic material palette that I think is perfectly suited for this design and its location. I also built out a small dock on the river facing side of the build to make this outpost even more flexible. Next for the walls. Now I went through a few designs for this concept, however it felt wrong having the trading post within a building, no matter how big it was or what shape it was. Therefore, I instead opted to do something a bit different and create a build that has the feeling of a small open air market. On either side of the structure will be a small indoor store, with the central section serving as a small open air marketplace for a few small vendors. I'll also be putting a store in the bottom right tower, along with a meeting room in the bottom left tower. In retrospect, this was a pretty good choice. I think having that open air feel makes this outpost feel much more convincing as a trade hub, rather than having everything squirreled away inside a massive building. For the walls, I used a single layer of stone brick, followed by another layer of insulated wood, with stable fences on top of these wood walls. I built the walls 2 tiles high for each room and around the perimeter of the base plate, and I also built some stairs up onto the side stores to access what will be the storerooms above them. Next, I built up the storerooms over the side stores. It's quite simple, I just built them 1 tile high, and then I went back to the front of the build and I placed frontier stairs at the entrance, and added a modded 2x2 stone brick gate frame at the entrance. If you don't have access to this mod, say if you're on console, then you might be better off going for a regular gate frame, although I found it was a bit too tall for this design, so you could always use, for example, arena vaulted ceilings to create a gateway that remains open. Finally, for the roofs. I decided upon reinforced tiled sloped roof pieces, as they fit the rustic style nicely, but they look a bit better than the regular tiled pieces. On the corner towers I went with a standard pointed apex roof, but I added a stagger layer, so just a layer of walls between the cap and the taper, to make these roofs a little bit more interesting. I also built really simple roofs over the storerooms. If you don't have access to these roof gable pieces I'm using, then you can just use regular pieces of course, whichever option works well for you. Finally, when the shell of the build was done, it was then time to of course furnish. Approaching the build, I've named this the Narrowneck Trading Outpost, and I've lit the exterior with a single lamppost. I've also added some modded windows around the build, and I've added arena stairs as footers regularly around the exterior perimeter. Entering the outpost, there are plenty of options as soon as you enter. There's a small fruit juice vendor facing the front gate, and there are 2 rooms in the towers behind. The first is a meeting room, where the heads of the trading companies and their representatives will be able to meet and discuss different deals. On the other side you have a tailor, where both men and women can go to get some good quality clothes made by hand. On the right side you'll find the Blacksmith store, where customers can get their own equipment upgraded or repaired, or simply just buy themselves a fancy new sword or shield. Above this store there is a storeroom containing plentiful stock of smithing supplies and a surplus of weapons and shields. On the left side, my personal favourite section of the build is a small tavern, providing a cosy watering hole for visitors to the outpost. There are a few patrons in the tavern already, including some Inexians, which you may find out a bit more about in a future build. There's a storeroom above this tavern also, containing surplus alcohol. Entering the central market, things are a bit cramped here, but it creates a nice market feeling given how little room this area actually takes up. Here you'll find stalls for produce, books, metal, potions and more. With its placement in calm waters and the nearby lighthouse, it's easy for even large ships to dock at the trading outpost and trade with those inside. And there we have it, Narrowneck Trading Outpost in the Exiled Lands in map square I4. Thanks for watching. I tried a couple of different designs for this build and eventually I decided to try something more open, and this is what came out of it. To be honest, I'm pretty happy with this design and I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, you'll find all the links to my Twitch, Discord, Twitter, Patreon and NordVPN discount in the description below, along with credit for the music used in this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I put out at least 2 videos a week, so there's always plenty of content to come. If you have any suggestions for future builds, I would love to hear them in the comments below. As always, a massive thanks to our patrons Sir Dialot, Randar, Connor, Blue Ivy, Velma, Torn, Eagle Rose and Maril224. Again, thank you very much for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon.